muted. Didn't realize I was muted that time, the whole time. But again, I was just explaining about how I started my law firm, Justin Camper Law LLC, 1 year ago. And it was basically because I felt that there was a need for small business owners to have a personalized lawyer to help them with their legal issues. I started my own small business called JC Productions. And JC Productions is an event promotion company that promotes events and creates, takes different ideas and create events. And as I was out there promoting my event, I realized that, man, I need a lawyer. I really need a lawyer to help me through those things. A good thing I was a lawyer at the time, and actually before I actually started JC Production, before I actually became licensed. But I was like, man, it was nice. It would have been nice to have a lawyer to answer legal questions as they came up, to help draft up contracts when they came, or uh, ask me questions about trade, and answer my questions about trademarking and am I infringing on people's trademarking. And then when I went around in Indiana, specifically Gary, I realized that there are a lot of young startup, small business owners trying to make it, trying to provide for their family, and they needed a lot of legal help. And I wasn't even practicing business law at the time, but a lot of people were just hitting me up like, "Hey, can you do my contract? Hey, can you? What are your thoughts on trademarks and things like that?" So what I did was I had to become an expert at it. And I actually spent, a lot of time and money, a lot of money actually getting trained, taking different classes, reading up on case law so that I can be well formed about business law. And so that's why I started my own law firm, Justin Camper Law LLC, where I focus on small business owners. I'm a small business attorney. Now I do other areas of law, but my main focus is on small business owners. And so for those who just came in, yeah, I was just explaining what I do and who I am. Um, but I really wanted to just go on this live just to promote the Small Business Saturdays podcast that's going on tomorrow at 11 o'clock, at 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. This will be a really, really good podcast. I got three dynamic attorneys to join with me. One of them I haven't promoted him yet. He's going to be introduced on the show. But we're going to be talking about some really heavy topics. So, when you come in, make sure you come in with the right mindset. We're going to be talking about some topics that are adult only topics. I'm just giving you a warning. It's going to be an adult conversation. I'm about to go through a list of some of the topics that we're going to be talking about, just in case you didn't see it through the promotion. And for those who are listening, if you have any questions about the podcast, if you want to know what's going on, you have any thoughts about it, definitely just put it in the comments. And hopefully I can address those issues. But yeah, so some of the topics that we're talking about is things that are going on, and some of them are just things that have happened somewhat in the past, but are still very relevant today. Like I said, it's going to be three additional attorneys with me on the podcast, and we all practice in business law. So we actually all do business law, and we all, two of us are in the same state, but for the most part, we're across the country. We got a DC attorney, we got an Indiana attorney. I do Indiana. We have an Illinois attorney. So it's going to be really fun. So let me go through the list of topics, and then I will let you guys keep enjoying the rest of your night. Let's see here. I had it moved away from it. Okay, so the first topic that we're going to be talking about is OnlyFans. OnlyFans is a topic that I see the comments. See the comments now. Do I have a link to the podcast? I don't have a link to the podcast. It is it's going to be Facebook Live. So follow my page, Justin Camper Law. And if you follow my page, Justin Camper Law, you'll be able to see it. I'm going to be posting it on my profile just like you see it now. So it's all going to be live. And then once I get done with the live, the goal is to actually record it, and it will be posted on other platforms. So if you want to listen to it on the go, if you want to see the actual video, we're going to be posting it on my YouTube channel, Justin Camper Law. So that's how you can see it. It's no necessarily not a link. I did create an event page for it, so you can see it. If you want to Google Small Business Saturday Podcast with Attorney Justin Camper, you can Google it. I mean, not Google it. Put it in the Facebook page. Put Facebook search. It should pop up. Yeah, sorry, I realized I was in mute. I just see that now. Okay, sounds good. So I'm going to go through just some of the things that I'm going to be talking about in the podcast. Someone said, are you able to get consultations from you and your panel? Hans, I give you free consultations all the time. But I actually, in all seriousness, I actually offer free consultation for the first initial consultation. And so if you need personalized legal advice for your business or your particular situation, then for that, please give us a call. The whole purpose of this podcast is one of the purposes of this podcast is for you to know who's out there. We got phenomenal attorneys out here who can help you with your business. And not all of us are extremely expensive. So definitely that's one of the reasons why you should contact us. Okay. So I'm just going to run through a list of some of the topics. Like again, the first topic we're going to talk about is OnlyFans. And a lot of people are familiar with OnlyFans. It's a company that allows people to post content and to have subscribers. I don't know if you know, but during the COVID-19 pandemic, there was an increase in sexual workers who got on OnlyFans. And so OnlyFans became a $1 billion company because of it. I think it was already doing pretty well before, but then it just exploded after the pandemic happened. And so OnlyFans is actually planning on banning sexual content on its website, and then they ended up reversing that. And so we're going to be actually breaking down what would if the sexual workers were to sue, what actually would they be suing on? What rights do they have? What advice would we give OnlyFans if we were representing OnlyFans? What advice would we give sexual workers if we were representing the sexual workers? I think we might get into a little bit of if porn and pornography should even be legal, and we're going to get into that just a little bit, but we're going to really be talking about the OnlyFans situation. Another thing that we're going to be talking about is Texas. Texas just passed an abortion law. And so I'm going to be talking about that law. It's a very tricky law, and it's really interesting. And so, a lot of people have been, going off about it. And so we're going to be talking about it, and we're going to be explaining what is the law, how does it affect other states, how does it affect people who want to get abortions. So we're going to be talking about that, and what are the legal issues around that, how the Supreme Court is going to probably going to judge on it. So it's going to be a really good conversation. I'm not being able to see the comments anymore on my end. I'm gonna work on that. Anyway, the second topic is we're going to be talking about is LA County. LA County paid $400,000 to a church that violated COVID-19 procedures. And so this is pretty big, a church going against the government, and the government was going against them because they said, hey, you're not supposed to be having church, you're not supposed to be singing. They put all these different procedures in place to protect people from catching the virus. And so they had these restrictions, and they went against the church for violating these restrictions. The church fought back, defended himself, and then they ended up coming down to a settlement. So I've read some things, and some people says that the government still would have won on the law, but they felt like it wasn't worth going to court and keep fighting this thing. The churches are declaring this a victory, and they're saying that this should happen across the country, that nonprofits and churches should particularly churches, that church is an essential business and that it should be able to do what it wants to do for whoever wants to do it. And so we're going to be breaking that down. We're going to be giving our perspective on it, who we think would have probably won if this did go to trial, and how does this affect you? How does this affect you as a small business owner? How does this affect you as a nonprofit? So we're going to be really breaking that down. Another thing that we're going to be talking about is a $430 million settlement against Philip Morris, which is a tobacco company, for a wrongful death suit. And so basically what happened is there was a guy who got lung cancer from smoking cigarettes. And so he's smoking cigarettes and he ended up dying. His spouse ended up suing the tobacco company, and they actually got a huge settlement because of the lawsuit. And due to all the warnings and signs, and it's crazy that in today's time people are still winning lawsuits against the tobacco company. Now they didn't technically win; it was a settlement, but to get that amount of money in a settlement suit. So we're going to be breaking down what exactly is a wrongful death lawsuit. Is it just because anybody dies on their watch or somebody else's watch? I can bring a wrongful death lawsuit. Who can bring a wrongful death lawsuit? And so we're going to be breaking that down. Actually, what that means and how does it apply, and why do we think that the tobacco company actually settled? Why did the tobacco company actually provide? Why did the tobacco company actually provide? Um, accept money to these people. So we're going to be breaking that down. We're going to be talking about the law in that situation. We got a few bonus topics that I'm going to mention tomorrow. One of the bonus topic is there was a lawyer that actually dressed up as Mike Myers, and he got arrested for dressing up as Mike Myers. And I guess I don't know why he did it, but that's going to be a fun topic. And we got a few bonus things that we're going to talk about. So I really appreciate everybody for tuning in. Like I said, I really want you guys to tune in tomorrow, Small Business Saturday podcast at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. If you have any questions or comments, definitely let me know. Sorry, I'm not able to see the comments. Okay. Yeah. So hopefully I can see comments on tomorrow. Yeah, but please let me know what you think. How do you feel about it? What topics would you guys want us to talk about? I really would appreciate all the feedback that you guys can give for us. Want to see if I can see any comments here. I'm not seeing it. So if you are, how do you feel about it? What topics would you guys want us to talk about? Sorry, guys, for those who are in there. Yeah, so I don't see any other comments or anything like that. So I'm going to head out, but definitely like this, share the post if you feel free to do. If you feel willing to do that, it's going to be a really great podcast tomorrow. So thank you so much for listening in, and looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.